See, Mr. Kurth,
I'm here, Judge.
is your client in your office, Mr. Kurth? Is it by phone?
He is also on through a separate link through Blue Jeans.
That is correct.
Okay. And it's now Miss Black, is that correct?
That's correct.
I'm just admiring your background, Miss Black. Is that one of those fake backgrounds?
It is, yes, Judge.
I was going to say, I knew you were moving, but it's like a pretty nice place there in the back.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's just
All right, this is case D446900. The Feindel, now known as Black. We referred this was initially on for the defendant's motion to relocate to within the state to the city of Reno. We referred the matter to mediation to see if the parties were able to come to an agreement. We got a letter indicating that the parties were not able to reach an agreement. So I guess we may have to set a trial on the matter. However, the last time, and when I went back through it again and looked in the history of the case, I don't see how, if in fact Ms. Black can find out how to accommodate Mr. Feindel's normal visitation, which is every other weekend, that there should be no reason why she could not relocate in the interim. So, are you still in Clark County, Ms. Black?
yes, we are. We're still in Henderson.
Are you wanting to leave before the first of the year?
No, because of the stay-at-home orders, the employment has extended that we can work from home for the current foreseeable future.
So when would you be moving to Reno?
We would like to do it after the very beginning of the year is when that can happen.
All right. Well, if that's the case, I will give you a calendar call first part of the year, and then we'll see when we can fit you in. The reason for that, again, this is not a case where even if you had moved, you weren't going to be prejudiced by it. But particularly since you're not moving anyway, I will just simply have a better idea come January about when I can get you. You still have to prove your case if Mr. Kurth and Mr. Feindel is going to contest it. I guess I'll ask Mr. Kurth. Is her relocation to Reno still going to be contested, Mr. Kurth?
Right now, my client judge, Mr. Feindel, is contesting it. Now, there have been some discussions. I was a little late in giving Mr. Feindel, and I apologize, the order on this Our Family Wizard, and he got in there and logged in, and I was meeting with him earlier today by Zoom, and he pulled up a communication from October 22nd that said that now Ms. Black was apparently not, and I was just discussing with her, but outside the court's present, about what her plan was, but it looked like now that she might be changing it and not necessarily wanting to move to Reno, but wanting to move to New Jersey or New York, and that her husband is going to apply, or I think he has applied for a job in New York or New Jersey. So,
No,
we don't.
Listen, I'll stop you right there. If that's the case, you're going to have to refile a completely new motion, Ms. Black. It's not. I'm going to have pending in front of the court a motion to move to fill in the blank when I decide where I want to go.
Okay.
So if you're not moving to Reno, we will just vacate that for right now, and then you can file a motion when you decide if and when you're going to move.
Okay, so that was what. See, this would be a lot easier if Timothy would use Our Family Wizard, and we could.
Let me stop and advise Mr. Kurth of that. We checked yesterday, and let me preface this. It was brought up the last time. Your client has a huge problem with using Our Family Wizard. She has sent 9 messages. He checked one on September 21st. He hasn't even accessed the others, nor has he sent one reply.
And Judge, that's what I was saying, that I'll have to take some responsibility for that because
No, you don't, Mr. Kurth, because
just gave him, my office just gave him that order on that.
You don't need to take responsibility for your client. First of all, he accessed it on September 21st. So I know he had access. That's when he looked at it.
All right.
He just doesn't like to use it. That's been an ongoing problem with him.
Well, I've had a conversation with him today. He knows he needs to use it. He needs to go that direction and has to use it. And so we've had that discussion for sure today, Judge. And I wanted to report on the mediation. When they went to mediation, I think one reason that stalled everything is because Miss Black had requested in there that she wanted sole legal custody. And then that's not going to happen. Stopped. So that stopped right then, basically, is what happened.
That's not, I didn't request that. That was just part of the paperwork. There was no way to go through that paperwork without answering that question.
No. Well,
and Timothy said the same thing.
I did not say the same thing.
I can let everybody involved know that this court does not award sole legal custody to any party shy of them being incarcerated in prison or completely unfit to make decisions. That is not this case.
Okay, I understand, Your Honor. It was just a part of the paperwork.
Listen, let's just cut to the chase, Ms. Black. If you do not know, as we talk here right now, that you're not even moving to Reno for sure, it might actually be other places, then you'll just have to refile the motion when you know.
Okay, that's what I needed to know here with this process is, so the problem is this is a process, so, and I have come to an agreement with Tim, he just didn't read it. I agree to the standard away visitation. That's not going to be a problem. So, if
right now listen, as we all understand, you don't know if and when you're even moving to where you're moving to, correct?
Well, we do. It's just going to depend on if the court will let us or not. That's the whole. I mean, you can't make these kinds of decisions and say, "Yes, I will take your job," and then come back and say, he got a job offer in Manhattan, so we would have to move to New Jersey and commute.
That's, again, I'm just going to take the matter off calendar because that Manhattan/New Jersey is not Reno, and
no,
so you'd
not.
have to refile a new motion alleging new facts anyway. So for today, we're just taking the matter back off calendar, and once you know better and about when that's closer, then you can file regarding that. But that's not. Just because your facts and circumstances change don't mean we just whimsically say, okay, Mr. Kurth, now you're going to have to deal with an out-of-state. No, we have to follow proper process and procedure.
Okay.
All right.
And Judge, I would like it for the, I would like to put on there what we had, when Ms. Black is saying that she agreed, is that what we had put in there in our opposition and our counter motion was that, look, if the court was going to grant the move, then Mr. Feindel was requesting that he have Ivy, who's 10 now, for every 3-day weekend and the spring break every year, summer break 1 week after school till 1 week before starts, Thanksgiving every other year, week during Christmas every year, and that she takes care of all the transportation costs. And she basically has said, yeah, she would agree to that now, but now things have changed with this whole New York, New Jersey thing, which just became aware of. So.
All right.
But I just wanted to put that's what she's talking about when she's saying, hey, I agree to what they want. So
that's fine. Well, that's probably not as feasible when they're residing on the East Coast. So
okay.
Anyway,
that's what I needed to know, Your Honor, is if we decide, because now what we're deciding between is doubling our income or quadrupling our income. So if we decide to go to Reno, then I just refile the motion.
Listen, talk to an attorney. I can't. You're sitting here pontificating. There's no purpose. Listen, you ought to understand my position. You're sitting there pontificating in front of me is all you're really doing. I don't know the answer to that. I can't suggest what your chances are of an even further relocation. All I will say right now is before you file a motion, if Mr. Kurth is still Mr. Feindel's attorney of record, you're required in writing to try to work it out with him before you file a motion.
Okay, that's perfect. Now, Judge, since I have your ear on that,
No,
I cannot-
I'm not. Listen, since I have
no,
your ear, what?
I cannot get Timothy to communicate. So
Listen,
He's going to communicate.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen, Ms. Black, I know it's been a problem. His attorney's saying today, I don't know, his attorney shouldn't be taking any blame in this because we have a long history of it. Listen, that all I can say is maybe that might bolster your claim if it comes to that. Okay? You can
Also,
only keep doing what you're trying to do.
So do I just keep sending the messages of
Absolutely.
you owe me money?
And the more
Where's
he
the money
doesn't
that you
respond,
owe?
the worse it looks for him.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, okay, one last thing before we close, if you don't mind. We did file a counter motion. We would like, well, I know that her motion is being taken off now, but, however the court thinks that we should handle, Mr. Feindel would like, at least additional visitation that he's getting. He gets every other weekend.
Because she
phone
filed a
call.
motion to relocate, now he wants some more time.
We filed a counter motion for primary physical custody based on that. I mean,
Right.
the court has already told us that, well, it was like a de facto. Based
Right.
on that, there was no hearing or any findings or anything made at that time, and everything sharing in our position, with all due respect to the court, of course. But, so, I mean, that's what we were filing for, and saying that was never really been truly went through all the factors and decided, but it has been several years since that occurred. The child is now 10, and, he would like additional time with his daughter, especially
Like
if...
that every day, Mr. Kurth. Everybody would like a little bit more. You're not giving me any reason why. The reason why this even came before the court wasn't his request. It was couched in an opposition counter motion. And there's no reason why. Everybody would, quote, like a little bit more time. I get that day in, day out.
Okay, well, we'll deal with that. We'll send Ms. Black, we'll communicate with her with that and see if she's willing to agree to whatever, and if not, then we'll refile. I mean,
Okay, there's really been no reason other than I want, which is a lot of what people allege nowadays.
there was the only reason that things were taken away from him was because he didn't pay for a parenting coordinator. Or, they've had a long history of communication issues, but that's it. I mean, he had always had.
We have a long history of your client being non-compliant with stuff like parenting coordinators and simple stuff like using our family wizard. So, yeah, Mr. Kurth, you're quite. I'm familiar with almost all my cases in my caseload. You're quite welcome to go back in the history of this case and see in your client's actions in this case. But again, all for naught. Matter simply being taken off calendar. The request for expanded time is being denied. Again, that's been the de facto for years, and that was caused by Mr. Feindel's actions years ago. All right. You guys have a good day. Stay safe and healthy.
Okay, thank
Your
you,
Honor.
Judge.
Thank you.